But what brings us here today is that we face a little bit of a dilemma, but a huge opportunity here. We've known for a while here that actually I'm going to go through my agenda real fast here. We're going to give you a little bit of an update on where we're at right now, a little bit about what we need to accomplish, the immediate needs, what we're looking for the members in the community, and then most important, and this is the most important part of the whole day here, it's a chance for you to ask questions of us and give us your ideas. But what we basically found out a few weeks ago was we thought we could extend, we've had a few extensions to our lease, and we thought we could extend that into 2014. For a while now, we've been looking around for more permanent locations for a new Mid-Peninsula tech shop. However, we learned that we need to be out of here by Halloween. So it sort of speeds things up immensely. The dilemma that we have, and I have to admit, when I was at Make and before I joined TechShop, you know, I figured, hey, what's the big deal? I mean, you got to be able to, come on, what does it take, a month and a half to just pick up everything and move it over to a new location, and maybe members could throw up walls, and it doesn't really work like that, particularly where we're going with the new model, and our new model of TechShop, and I'll show you some pictures in a minute, really successful, and how quickly we grow, both in terms of adding members, revenue, and the success and engagement in the community. So we think we're onto something good, and we want to do that here for Menlo Park. We have a huge opportunity here to build a world-class tech shop anew. This is special. I mean, this is the birthplace of tech shop. It's also long in tooth. You know, anyone here is a member. You know, you walk around, you know, the equipment, the doors, the paint, and everything else. And so it's an opportunity to do it right and to do it like we're doing it in the rest of the country here. What we've learned, or what we've gotten, is over the past week from you is a huge outpouring of support. We've received, you know, hundreds of emails from you. Some of you have been kind enough to volunteer to come on in our new loan program, which Jim's going to talk about shortly. Others have recommended locations, both temporary locations and permanent locations. We actually toured, Jim and I toured a location that's really promising in Redwood City, 955 Charter Street, that we toured just scarcely 48 hours ago. We fell in love with it. It's a really good location. There's a charter school kitty corner to it. Stanford's doing a lot of building around there. It's right off 101. It's between Broadway and Bay Road, right off Woodside Road. We loved it. And in fact, we loved it so much that I was still sitting in the parking lot after on the phone talking to our general contractor in Minneapolis, and talking to our real estate guy. They're both flying out here now. They're working with the landlord. They're flying out. They'll be out here on Monday morning touring the building with the landlord, and you know, hopefully we can put together a deal. That would be a permanent location. But it takes us about 6 months between the time that we start to design, the architectural process, doing the engineering of a new building, pulling all the permits, getting the use permits, starting the construction, and then bringing in the new equipment into the location. That puts us out sometime, you know, in, frankly, Q1, the end of Q1. We need to find a temporary space, and we're still not sure. This building might possibly be able to accommodate a temporary space if we do it really cleverly, like take one end of the building, use it as a temp space while we're building out the rest of the building, and then when we're done with that, move everything over into that, and then finish building it out to have a complete building. But we're still working on that. We still need lots of ideas on that. So what are our goals? I said we want to build a new world-class tech shop on the Mid-Peninsula, but at the same time, we want to, everything's about mitigating the impact to you, our members, and to the community as much as possible. Hopefully we can do it with little or no service interruption, and moving into a temporary space. Obviously not everything is going to fit in a temporary space, or we don't think everything's going to fit in a temporary space. So it's what we need to figure out here, and in part working with you, is figure out what kind of programming, depending upon the size of the temporary space, what kind of programming is most appropriate, and then we can get in there and hopefully bring in enough of the right programming so that it will mitigate, not eliminate, but mitigate the impact on you, our members. And then launch the permanent location by April 2014. I just want to show you just real fast. I should have found even better pictures, but these were on my laptop. This is TechShop Pittsburgh, and these pictures from last winter when we were in the process of launching it. I just thought, you know what, let me show you a few pictures of what a new location looks like. The new locations were all about, to me, it's not so much what you know, it's what you aspire to learn. And so we love locations that have a lot of glass so that people can see in and go, wow, that's awesome. People are learning how to weld. And maybe you know how to weld, but people are looking and saying, wow, look at that wood shop. I'd like to learn that. And then when you get in the shop, we also had a lot of glass throughout our new location. Everything's about glass. I mean, we have if you go to Detroit, Detroit's the only metal shop I've ever seen, a machine shop completely surrounded by glass. And it's because we want people that, even if you didn't come in there, even if you're in there using a textile lab, we want you to see what's going on in the metal shop. These aren't the best pictures. We're still in the process of setting up at the time. As I said, it was about 20 minutes ago that I decided to do it. Now, if my wife were here, she'd say, why the hell are you showing a picture of sunken mops and everything? But if you're a member, you get it, brand new lockers. One of the things we do in our new locations, every bit of wall space we can find, we put in brand new lockers. Ranging from high school type lockers to 3-foot by 3-foot lockers to 6-foot by 4-foot cages. Every type of storage that we can find, and we find every possible corner of the shop to put it in. New powder coating and spray booth, brand new wood shop. So this is an example. It's completely surrounded by glass so that wherever you are in the rest of the shop, you can see it. So that's just
Dan, can you go back real quick to the first one? I want to point something out that's pretty cool. And I don't know if we're going to be able to do that in our replacement, but when you look in these windows, the first window over by the entrance, you see laser cutters in the window. The second one, you see milling machines and lathes, and the corner one here, you see all the welders. They're right up front. I mean, there's a Panera Bread and a furniture store and a clothing shop and all these other retail businesses right here, and we've got all of our wares right out on the window.
There's actually a really nice high-end gym, private gym right above us, and it's cool to watch people or couples coming to show up with their swimming or whatever, and they do this double take, and you see people welding that. It's pretty cool. Google's also across this little driveway.
So I don't know if you guys...
we're a complete distraction to them, and it's nice.
I don't know
the geeks are always like peering through to see what's going on, and actually our front desk crew literally spends a lot of time walking out on the sidewalk, even in the winter when it's snowing, because people are like that with their faces planted there, and they're going, why don't you come in, we'll give you a tour. So it's cool to see. It's just really a different scenario.
And our location in Austin, Texas is really great. I don't know if you've seen pictures of it, but it's right next to a Lowe's. So Lowe's is here, TechShop's here, we share a wall. So when you go into when you go into Lowe's, you go in and you look this way and there's the garden center with the power doors. You look this way and there's TechShop with power doors, all branded, so you can go right in. And there's glass, like Dan said, we love glass. Glass all along the wall so people can, inside Lowe's, can look in and see what people are working on.
So you're in the wood and building materials section, and you turn around and you see like about a 40-foot long wall, and you see people like you in there learning how to use the shop box.
What location exactly is this?
This is in Pittsburgh in Bakery Square. It's about 1.5 miles from Carnegie Mellon, which is nice. There's actually, Carnegie Mellon actually has a number of extension classrooms and lab space within this same building. It's kind of an interesting mixed-use space. I mean, it's got, retail. There's even like a little massage studio a couple of doors down, which is a little bit different. We've never had a massage studio for a neighbor. We seem to get along though. We don't have the water jet on the other side of that massage studio wall. So let me go back through here. And
sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's all right. This is pretty informal, as you can see. So what we need to accomplish in the next 8 weeks, really quickly. I mean, this is the operational challenge. We know we've got a huge opportunity here of doing this right for the Mid-Peninsula, and we're really excited to do it here. By the way, I grew up in Menlo Park, so after doing this in Pittsburgh and Detroit and other areas around the country, it's going to be a blast to do it right here. But in the next 8 weeks, we have to secure a temporary space, because I told you why it is we need a temporary. We have to program, design, and get all the building improvements done. And it's going to be minimal. And don't get me wrong. I mean, we're not talking about going in and making a Taj Mahal for the next 2 or 3 months. But still, we've got to go in, we've got to do it right. And it might involve a little elbow grease from some of you as well. We need to then relocate all the equipment, tools, and furnishing there, and services, and not launch the new location. We got to do that in the attic here before Halloween. We don't, luckily we don't have to do a lot of cleanup here. When you normally leave a location, you gotta leave it like green, what is it called, like room ready or whatever like that, all nice and clean. They're gonna be ripping this building down as soon as we're out, so we don't have to worry about that. In parallel to that, we need to secure the new permanent location, which we're trying to do right now, negotiate the terms and then move forward with architecture, engineering, and permitting. Just so everyone knows, this is typically for one of our new locations, takes about a 2-month process once we've actually signed the lease to finish up doing all the architecture and test beds and getting all the permitting done before we begin construction. So it takes about just under 4 months to completely do a new shop from scratch. Our immediate needs, I mean, what it is that we're looking for. We need a temporary space. Temporary space within 5 miles of the current location, preferably between 8,000 to 12,000 square feet. There's nothing magical about these numbers, but just trying to give everyone a sense of what we think would be reasonable. 10 to 14 foot clear height. Normally we look for a little, the minimum clear height, a little bit higher than that in a brand new permanent location, but for temporary we think 10 foot would be fine. Parking for somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 cars. Street parking is just fine. We can get by with that, particularly for a temporary location. Ideally, it's ground floor and slab concrete. However, for temporary, we might even get around that. But if it's not on the ground floor, it would have to have a freight elevator and 400 to 800 amp service at 240 volts. So that's just in a nutshell what we're looking for in temporary spaces. And we're still very much looking for temporary space, even if it's 955 charter works. If we can find a really good temporary location, we'd take it right now, which is probably better than that one.
Just for reference, how big is this facility in square feet?
This is 15,500, but we have, you know, the offices over here, and we didn't really use this building as efficiently as we do in new locations. So we have a lot of new program areas in our new locations, so we've gone a little bigger than this. We have things like, you know, the multi-purpose room that we have in all our locations. We have one like this. Now we put, we make it a little bigger. We make 3-way dividers, and we have a little catering kitchen that's in the back of the house, so we can have big corporate events. So we've added some things to our.
That Pittsburgh location, by the way, is about the exact same size as Menlo Park. It's of our new locations is on the small end, but as Jim said, it's got just a killer meeting space with really nice air walls between it. White walls, you know, as high as
whiteboards,
built-in whiteboards, and it's a really nice space. So, yeah.
Are we going to have an office space in a temporary place as well?
No, that's a good question.
How about what?
Office space for the rental offices.
Well, in the permanent location, we definitely will. In the temporary location, that's to be determined. And if we can find some place that happen to have those as well, we grab it. So, obviously, that's one more element of our programming that we could continue. Let me talk a little bit about the permanent space. We are going to get to general Q&A in a minute. So that is the most important part of this. I want to go through the basics here. You notice instead of saying 5 miles, you know, for the you know, one of the things that we always deal with here is we're looking at, we got TechShop San Jose and where that draws from. We got TechShop San Francisco and where that draws from. And they're not always, you can't always just build a big radius. I mean, I know growing up in the peninsula here, a lot of people in the peninsula just won't go into the city. I mean, I know people in San Bruno will not drive into San Francisco, but they'll drive down to Menlo Park.
Totally. I avoid SF like the plague.
Yeah, and we'll get into this in the Q&A, but we've had people say, well, what about Newark? And I know that there are places around the side of Dumbarton Bridge that are available, and yet I grew up here, and I know that there are, I mean, it may as well be, you know, it may as well be Detroit for a lot of people in Menlo Park. They just won't go over there.
No bridges, no bridges.
In fact, I can get from here over to Newark a lot faster than I can get up to, you know, to Woodside or the other side of Menlo Park, and yet, you know, a lot of people just won't do that. So, you have to take that into consideration when you're looking at new locations. So for the permanent space, we're looking at something within about 3 miles, and preferably, it's sort of like oblong if you kind of push it that way. If I'm going 3 miles, I'd rather be 3 miles north than 3 miles south. 3 miles south gets an awful lot, you know, sort of gets me into that Sunnyvale Mountain View area, and that's an area that the San Jose store is currently supporting pretty well.
Yeah, the exact center point between TechShop San Francisco and TechShop San Jose is where, on 101, where that big lit up advertising sign is. It used to be the Circle Star Theater. That point right there is exactly 25 miles to TechShop San Jose and to TechShop San Francisco. So ideally, you want to be right there.
Big move.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah.
Is that Redwood City?
Is it Whipple?
That's Redwood
That's
City.
Redwood
Yeah.
City.
That's okay.
That's Redwood City.
Whipple Avenue? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what about the whole, but
Because
that,
you'd rather be there.
yeah.
Well, I'm
we've
just
been-
saying, somewhere between here and there would be ideal.
So 16 to 20,000 square feet, that's kind of what we typically when we go around the rest of the country now. And I spend a lot of time like talking with universities right now, like we were out and talking to WashU in St. Louis last week. They'd love to see a tech shop there. What are you looking for? What's kind of space? Typically going forward, 16 to 20,000 square feet. In fact, occasionally we'll find spaces that are 23, 24, 25,000. And if we can get a really good deal on those going forward, we'll take it because of office space and because of storage space. And it's probably like the least sexy part of our business, but storage lockers and storage containers are huge. And so if we can find more, we'll take it. But this is kind of our minimum sweet spot that we're looking for. 12 to 16 foot clear height. Believe it or not, much more than 16 feet. It gets expensive. It's cool. I mean, I'm the type of guy, our general contractor hates it when I do. So I walk into a place and I love really high ceilings, like 20 foot clear height. It looks neat. The problem is it just adds to the dollar per square foot because everything has to be hung, all the airlines and everything else has to be hung down much further. Not difficult to engineer, it just costs a little bit more. So 12 to 16 foot clear height is our sweet spot. Parking for 50 to 70 cars, and this is on the low end. Frankly, typically we look for what we call a 4-to-1 ratio, which is for every 1,000 square feet, we look for 4 parking spots. So typically we look for a little bit more on that. If we were in an urban location, I'd be more staunch on that. The nice thing about this area, particularly the areas we're looking at, San Carlos, Redwood City, the light industrial area, those areas almost all have street parking. In fact, the area that we're looking at, 955 Charter, the really cool thing about it, I stood out there in the middle of the day yesterday, or 2 days ago, 2 in the afternoon I think it was. I stood out there and I just looked within 1 block, and it was a short 1 block, and there was about a dozen different parking spots available in the middle of the day. At night and on the weekends, that area is completely vacant, so you got all the parking, street parking you want. Ground floor, slab concrete, again, really important for us. Those of you who've been at TechShop San Francisco realize that we're on 3 floors there. However, if we're on multiple floors, we absolutely have to have a free elevator, 400 to 800 amp services. So these are our requirements in terms of spaces that we're still very much looking for. So don't be bashful. If you know, in fact, we received a few people who gave us input last night over email. If you still know spaces, we're still interested in it. I've done enough real estate for TechShop that I know, deals fall through for a whole variety of reasons. And so we need to continue to look. The immediate needs funding, Jim, you want to step in and handle this?
Sure, yeah. So it usually takes us about $3.5 million to open a brand new location. Here we have some reduced costs because we already have the staff trained. That's an expense. We have some equipment. We have some of the lasers and some of the new equipment that we've moved to the new location. So we think the cost will be somewhat less. So $2.5 million. So we need to raise that money through kind of a combination of the $25,000 loans that we've done for all of our locations so far. And we're also going to be launching an Indiegogo campaign on Wednesday to got some interesting perks, like you can buy memberships for our veterans program. You can buy a day of me being your personal green consultant. So we're working on our project together. There's a bunch of cool stuff that we're going to have on there. So we think we can raise this money. It sounds a little kooky, maybe to some people, when we talk about raising, that much money in that short a period of time. But we did it for here. We raised, this place took $350,000 originally to build, and the person that gave the very, very, very first $25,000 loan is in this room. I'm not going to point him or her out unless they want to volunteer, but that took some guts. We didn't have a building, we didn't have a business plan, we didn't have any equipment, and they said, yeah, I'm up for that.
I'll give you 400 for it.
So we're going to do and then when we opened TechShop San Francisco, we, oh, by the way, when we solicited the loans for this place, this is not on camera, is it? No. This is going to be posted, so I better watch what I say. Let me just say it this way. Now, we've registered our loan program with the state of California. So when we did TechShop San Francisco, we sent an email out, and Sesame ran all that. She runs all of our lender programs now. She's really good at it. We sent an email out, and in 45 days, we had $2.7 million cash in the bank. So we were able to open TechShop San Francisco. We did the same thing with San Jose, not quite that much. I think it was $2.5 million. But same thing. That's how we raised the money for these. What was it?
It was closer to 3.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I don't know what the combination is going to be between the loans that we need to raise and the Indiegogo campaign. I have no idea what that balance is going to be. But the total needs to be $2.5 million. Yeah, most people don't realize that we've been crowdsourcing, or I should say, we've been crowdfunding, since 2006, before the term crowdfunding was even coined.
Before it was cool.
What's that? Or it was cool. Yeah, it wasn't. Well, it was cool back then. Some people thought it was cool. Yeah, the terms of the loan you can see in there. So I guess that's about it.
You're not talking 8% annual, are you? 8% over 10 years?
No, that's annual.
Annual.
Yeah. You know why we do that? Frankly, let me tell you why we do that. No bank will touch this with a stick. Right? We can't go to a bank and get a loan like this. So we know that our community will give us these loans, and so far I think everyone's happy. All of our lenders, I think they're all happy, and a lot of them have converted their loans to TechShop equity. We gave that opportunity a while back. So
what's the security for the loan?
Sesame, do you want to speak to that, or do you want to do that in the QA?
Yeah, I have paperwork here if you want to look at FAQs about it.
Okay, Dan?
We're going to the Q&A now. Do you want to just, and I know we've got, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm good at that. So, do you want to just talk through what the whole process is with the 20-day, just real quickly, sort of like the qualification? Because whenever I sit there and read it, it always looks like, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff. But it's actually pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Yeah.
So if you are interested in participating in the loan program, you, as a first step, just simply need to fill out this super quick and easy investor questionnaire. It will take you less than 5 minutes.
And why do we have to do that?
Well, yeah, it's SEC regulation. So
we can only take loans from people that are qualified investors.
Right. So it's meant to protect you. So there are a couple different ways you can be considered accredited, either through net worth or your annual salary. And you can see that right here on the questionnaire, and I can pass this out after the meeting. Once you complete this and submit it to me, I'll quickly confirm your accreditation, and then after that there will be a required 20-day cooling off period, so just a waiting period where there's no communication between us and you, and then at the end of that 20-day period we will send you new documents to review, including our private placement memorandum. And then after you review those documents and you're ready to lend, you just give me a little bit of information, like the name you want to put the loan under, your address, and the amount you want to loan of $25,000 or more. And I'll create your custom promissory note and send that to you along with one other document to sign, and then you send that back in, and that's it. It's a really simple process.
We're going to wrap this now. I gotta get photo on. It's my 25th anniversary.
Well, everyone else is welcome. There's still some food and drink. I'll be around for a little while longer. I just have to answer questions.
Thanks, I really appreciate it.